Trauma doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. You don't see it in scars or breakdowns. You see it in habits. Automatic behaviors you never chose but can't seem to stop. Your life might look perfectly normal on the outside, but underneath, your nervous system is still braced for impact. Tonight, we're uncovering several habits that reveal trauma never left you, not to scare you, but to expose what's been quietly in control. The first one hides in plain sight, and most people mistake it for simple kindness. You apologize too much, for asking questions, for taking up space, for existing. This habit forms when your past taught you one hard lesson: visibility equals danger. So you learn to soften yourself, to shrink, to stay agreeable enough to avoid consequences. This isn't politeness, it's a survival reflex frozen in time. And if you find yourself apologizing just for being there, you're probably expecting something else too. You don't trust calm. Even when things feel good, your mind scans for the exit signs. A change in tone, a delayed reply, a sudden shift in energy. You're not being anxious, you're being prepared. Trauma trained your brain to expect endings, so it starts grieving long before anything is actually lost. You don't relax into the moment, you wait for it to break. And that constant waiting, that constant state of preparedness, it forces your mind to replay every single thing you say. Every conversation becomes evidence. You replay it, you analyze it, you put yourself on trial. What did I say wrong? Did I go too far? Did I sound stupid? This isn't just overthinking, it's threat detection. Your brain once learned that small mistakes could trigger big, painful reactions.
So now it reviews every moment, just in case it missed a threat in your own words. But the moment someone else's words are kind, something strange happens. Compliments make you uncomfortable. Affection feels suspicious. A gift can feel like a trap. Because for some, trauma taught a painful equation. Kindness often came right before harm. So your body tightens instead of opening up. Your mind looks for the hidden cost, the other shoe that's about to drop. You don't reject love because you don't want it. You reject it because your nervous system, on a primal level, doesn't trust it. These habits, the constant apologies, the waiting for the end, the mental interrogations, the suspicion of warmth, they are not you. They are echoes. They are the armor you are forced to build just to survive. They are reflexes that never got the message that the war is over. Recognizing them isn't about finding what's wrong with you. It's about finally seeing the map of where you've been. And seeing that map is the first step toward finally choosing a new direction.
You avoid conflict. You might tell yourself it's because you're a peaceful person, someone who values harmony. But that's not the whole story, is it? You avoid conflict because once upon a time, conflict meant danger. It meant raised voices that cut through the air. It meant unpredictable reactions you could never prepare for. It meant sudden emotional explosions that left you feeling unsafe. Your mind might try to forget the details, to push them away, but your body remembers. It carries the history in its very wiring. And so now, you've learned to adopt. You silence your own needs before they can cause a problem. You compromise so fast you barely remember what you wanted in the first place. You've mastered the art of disappearing just to keep the peace. And eventually, after years of this, you start carrying something that was never yours to hold. You begin to manage everyone else's emotions. It's like a second job you never applied for, but you're an expert at it. You can sense the subtle shifts in a room before a single word is spoken. You soothe, you fix, you stabilize everyone else's world, because once upon a time, someone else's mood directly determined your safety. Their anger, their sadness, their instability, it was a storm you had to learn to predict just to survive. This isn't empathy. It's conditioning. You became the emotional regulator for the entire system because the cost of chaos was simply too expensive. But when the emotions, yours or theirs, become too intense to regulate, your system has one final escape. When things get truly overwhelming, you vanish. Not physically, you're still there, but you disappear mentally. You go numb. It's a profound feeling of disconnection, like you're suddenly watching your own life from a great distance, far away inside your own body. This is the freeze response. It's the last survival switch the brain pulls when fight or flight have already failed, or were never an option to begin with. It kept you safe once. It was a brilliant strategy. But now it just keeps you distant. Distant from the people you love, and from the life you want to feel. And to avoid ever having to get that overwhelmed at all, you stay busy. You're always occupied. Your calendar is full. Your to-do list is endless. Always productive, always moving, always on to the next thing. Because you know on some deep instinctual level that silence gives space to memories, and stillness feels fundamentally unsafe. So you overwork, you overcommit, you overstimulate with screens, with noise, with anything to fill the quiet. You're not doing this for success, not really. You're doing it to outrun your own nervous system, to stay one step ahead of the feelings you're terrified will catch you if you ever stop. And beneath all of this running, all of this managing, all of this freezing, there's one core belief that ties everything together. Deep down, you don't feel safe being at peace. Calm feels temporary, like the quiet before a storm. Quiet feels wrong, like you're missing a threat. Stability feels fragile, like it could shatter at any moment. Your system learned chaos, not rest. And here's the truth most people never hear. Trauma doesn't mean you're broken. It means you adapted. These habits, the conflict avoidance, the emotional caretaking, the numbing out, the constant busyness, they weren't mistakes. They were brilliant survival strategies that kept you alive. Healing isn't erasing them or shaming yourself for them. It's about gently teaching your body that the danger is over. And for the first time, you're allowed to stand down. If this resonated with you and you want more breakdowns of how the mind behaves under threat, subscribe to Mind Under Threat, because understanding the danger is how you finally escape it. Why does your friend start running and never stop, while you quit after a week? The answer isn't just willpower. It's written in your code and your context. Some of us are genetically wired for traits like conscientiousness, making routine building feel natural. Our brains might even respond more intensely to rewards, making that post-run high extra addictive. But it's not all internal. With every repetition of an action, you physically rewire your brain. And the people around you, even the culture you live in, are constantly shaping these new neural paths. And these habits, formed almost silently, go on to define the quiet parts of your life, your health, your stress, your focus. They become the invisible architecture of who you are. The good news? Architects can always draw up new blueprints.